Hello everyone, how you going? And welcome to British versus American versus Canadian English differences, and then with me added in there, it's just Australian. So let's see how we all differ.
Hi, I'm Lauren from the UK.
Hi, I'm Callie from the US.
And I'm Sydney from Canada.
Yep.
I've heard a variety of Canadian accents. Like obviously my friend in Montreal's accent is very different to my friends like over in like Vancouver.
Yeah, I've heard some Canadian accents from different friends as well.
I think the most noticeable thing is like the intonation. And you're very like happy and jolly when you speak. It's like sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, it's interesting that she's able to pick out the different accents because there is no way that I'd be going, oh yes, that's one's from that part of the country and that's from that part of the country. I don't even think I've really keyed onto the fact that different parts of Canada are going to have different accents. I mean, I'm sure if you line them up one after another, I'm going to go, oh yeah, I can hear the difference. And I think that's probably because I'm just going, oh yes, that's a different accent to what I'm used to, so I'm not hearing the nuance as much. And so hopefully that's where this video just allows you to compare back to back to back. I mean, it's not Canadian accents, but at least it's just three different accents one after another.
For us, that would be like us explaining like the Irish or like the Scottish. It'd be like
That's true. That yeah, they are also like that. But you guys definitely like go up.
Yeah,
That's true.
Definitely.
The style of speaking. I think same, like I can't like pin it down. I can't really say like what sounds different, but just when you hear it, sometimes you're like, that sounds super Canadian.
I know, eh?
But then I was just trying to listen then as they were speaking, going, what little nuances can I hear? And there was one particular word. Ah, there it was. Here we go.
Style of speaking.
Pin it
I think
down.
Same, like I can't like pin it down.
It's like a pin it down. It's like a super roller coaster of a word, just that one word. And so it's those kind of things that I definitely start to hear and go, oh wow, this is definitely a different accent to what I'm used to. And also I'm not sure if it helps or hinders me in this regard because I feel like I've listened to so many different people speak from so many different countries. So I don't know, I feel like I don't really hear the accent as much anymore. I mean, in saying that, as I was saying, when you're hearing that Scottish and Irish accent and if they're hard hitting, you go, oh man, that is definitely noticeable. But I feel like that's more so the fact that when you're going, I can't even understand if that's English anymore, more so than just the accent. Here we go.
So in the UK, we would say pasta or maybe pasta. I say pasta.
I would say pasta.
Pasta.
Well, not like that, sorry. I was really like trying to emphasize it. I'm not like, I want some pasta.
Yeah.
No, just pasta.
In Canada, we say pasta.
Pasta.
Well, there we go. Straight off the bat, I was able to hear that one, especially just between the USA and Canada. I thought they would have had fairly similar pronunciations, but the accent definitely just starts to come into that entire pronunciation there. I mean, hers was a little bit broken in the first regard because she did just exaggerate the whole thing, but I definitely heard when I went to
In
Canada.
Canada, we say pasta.
I think it was mostly the first day that had the difference, or maybe I'm getting mixed up, but I think it's like one was more like an ER and one was more of an AR sound. And then I guess if you break down the whole word, maybe the UK uses the S differently, but I think in Australia we would just say pasta. We definitely wouldn't say pasta, and then I guess it's just more of a hard A at the end, pasta.
Yeah, I can hear the A a little bit more here, right?
Yeah.
Really like strange in between of like the A sound. Whoa, that's cool.
Pasta, yeah.
Pasta. Yeah.
Pasta.
Yeah.
It's hard to nail down. It's not like it's not like pasta. It's like- but you can still hear some difference with the A.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
difference like pasta. Like I
That's why I
can
was
do like
confused.
pasta. I can do pasta as well, but like it's pasta.
You just sounded like British to me then.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally in between pasta and pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta.
Pasta.
Oh, it's so weird. Oh, here we go. This is just going to cause a stir, surely.
In the UK, we would say organization.
In the US,
so
we would
long.
say organization.
In Canada, we'll say organization, but some people might say organization.
Like
What? No. Organization sounds like you're just doing some ionizing radiation on organs. Not that you're organized at all. But strangely, like I said, I feel like I didn't really hear the accent between these three. It sounds strange, but I went, oh yeah, that's organization, organization, and organization. Yeah, listening to them again, they're virtually identical, just with, I guess, different people's voices, not different accents. At least that's my take on it. I don't feel like they play with a word any differently. I don't feel as though there's any different A's or I's or Z's or T's. They all just say organization. I don't know if that's because I don't know how else you'd pronounce the word unless you say organization. That's just completely weird, but man, it's kind of surprising to me that everyone is the same, I think.
So it makes it emphasis
organization.
on the, right?
Organization.
And so organization, or for me, I would say organization.
Organization, organization. They say
don't know.
both.
Yeah, organization. For me, it sounds a little uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I would
me
definitely say
too.
organization,
I say
but never organize. What did you say? Organization.
Organize. So you split it as organ.
It's so random.
So you don't split it like organization.
No, organization.
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 Confusing.
How would you possibly play with this word to make it sound different? I mean, I don't know if I'm just too broad with what I'm listening for, but I just don't see how you can possibly change it up to where you're just saying different things, like unless you're swapping C's with S's, but that's the same sound, or I don't even know. Let's find out.
So in the UK we would say process.
In the US, we would say process.
And in Canada, we'll
that's
say both.
right.
We'll say process or process. So it really, again, depends on the person. I think for me, I use both of them interchangeably. Depends on like what I'm talking about. I don't know, just how it flows.
Which way you want to
Yes.
go
Yeah,
that
like,
day.
do I want to be more British or do I want to be more American?
That certainly makes sense, and I definitely heard. I was going, how can you possibly do it? But then at least they gave me an example just straight up. So process, there we go. And of course, all of these countries, UK, USA, Canada, they all are going to have different areas that say it differently. And so this is just a representation of wherever these three ladies are from. But either way, it's just a good kind of example, good starting point to go, oh yeah, they do say process or process or process or process. Oh,
So in
no.
the UK, we wouldn't say like out in about, we would say like out and about. Like, oh, I'm out and about on the streets of the UK.
I was waiting to see where you were going with that. Yeah, in the US, we would also say out and about, but not like that. Just the N.
Yeah.
So out and about.
I'm out and about.
In Canada, we'll say it like out and about, or we might also say out and about. Wait, what? Out and about?
I guess this certainly makes sense, and that's where the Canadian inflection comes in, just completely getting rid of the A. Strangely enough, actually, in this case, but just saying out and about. In Australia, we would kind of do a similar thing to what all three of them do, and not fully pronounce the and, we would just kind of turn it into an N sound, and so it would end up being out and about, but yeah, we definitely pronounce the A, we don't go out and about. And I guess I'm not surprised that Canada does that, but at the same time, if you ask me who says it like that, I'd probably say the Irish more so than Canada. It's a little bit surprising. I'd say if you put it with an Irish inflection, it would also work. So that's where it would be great if you could just line up every single major English-speaking country in the world, just like all of the UK, USA, Canada, South America, Australia, New Zealand. You just get all of them in there and you go bang, 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 and just see every single one possible.
It can really sound the same, like out and about or out and about.
Wow, I was out and about.
Really?
Out and about.
Out and about.
So yeah, like the A is like, you sort of like eat the A out and about.
That seems harder.
In the UK, can I borrow your pencil? Or would we even say it as a question? Can I borrow your pencil?
In the US, we would say, can I borrow a pencil?
No, Lord. No. In Canada, we'll say, can I borrow your pencil?
Same in the States though, because when you're asking a question, you go up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was wondering, going, how are they going to round this sentence off? Because the British did what I expected it to do, and going, oh, can I borrow a pencil? And not really ask a question in terms of kind of a high-pitched mark at the end to mark a question mark. No, you just go, oh, can I borrow a pencil? I guess other than that, you have different R sounds as well in terms of borrow is kind of really just wobbly in terms of the USA.
Say, can I borrow a pencil?
Can I borrow a pencil is kind of what I'm hearing in that, but hey, it just sounds like the USA. And then Canada doesn't do that. In terms of borrow, it actually sounds quite flat.
Canada will say, can I borrow your pencil?
Yeah, it's like really short, really sharp. Can I borrow? But honestly, this is just when you're really trying to be nitpicky and just go, oh, how did they physically say it differently? Not did you even just say it completely randomly and the B sound like P's and T's. No, that's not what accents are, but it's just difficult to even just be that nitpicky sometimes. And so I guess if I'm adding Australia in there and you're asking someone, you go, oh, can I borrow your pencil? I mean, it definitely depends on the circumstance. If you're annoyed because you just broke yours, or if you're really trying to beg someone, you might go, oh, can I borrow a pencil? And so I guess we have both the upwards inflection and the downwards inflection, but I'm sure they do too, really.
Can I borrow your pencil?
Oh yeah, you go down. Pencil.
I don't think we say, can I borrow your pencil? It's just weird.
Yeah,
It's
we
like,
go up too though.
Generally,
Taking
that's
off.
the marker for questions.
Yeah.
maybe it's just me. Can I borrow your pencil?
Yeah, pencil.
Pencil.
Much of a muchness.
Because like if it's
You
a
go down.
statement, like pencil, but if you're like pencil,
I mean, I do agree. If it's perfectly flat, then it's definitely a statement. But yeah, I feel as though it can both work. Even though they said, oh, you go up to make it a question, I feel as though you can also go down to kind of imply a question instead of just making it sound like it's a question. It's a subtle nuance, but I feel as though it definitely works, or at least in Australia and maybe the UK it seems as well. I reckon it would work. Ah, here we go. I bet this last word's just going to make all the difference. It's just going to be a fragile or a fragile. fragile kind of situation.
In the UK, we would say, be careful, it's fragile.
Fragile.
My heart is
Fragile.
fragile.
Aww. In the US, we would say, be careful, it's fragile.
Fragile.
Okay. In Canada, we'll say, be careful, it's fragile.
Ooh, so you're fragile too.
Wow.
Oh, fragile.
Yeah, fragile. It's like almost like ULL sound. Fragile.
Sounds weird. Trying to like imagine fragile, it feels like it's not said enough.
Yeah, I guess I know where she's coming from. It's almost as though the USA has completely ignored the I, but then thinking about it, what would Australia do? I guess it depends how lazy you're being or how kind of much emphasis you want to put it. If you were going, okay, careful, that box over there, that is extremely fragile. But on the other hand, if you were just being super fast and just not caring, you just go, oh yeah, that thing over there is really fragile. I mean, that's not really as kind of deep and punchy as hers was, because hers was just completely fragile. But I feel as though Australia just tries to incorporate the I a little bit, even if they don't say fragile in the same way that the UK does. They might just say, oh, it's a bit fragile. But really, it just still sounds wrong, and so I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just being influenced by these three too much, and I don't know what it really is, but hey, I guess fragile, we'll go with that for now.
I feel the opposite. Like, I feel like fragile sounds, I don't know.
Making it too
Fragile.
complicated.
Too many times now, it all sounds weird.
I know, that's the
Fragile.
thing.
Fragile just like flows.
Wait, so do you say like agile or do you say agile?
Agile. Okay, yeah.
Not fragile.
Fragile.
That's where they've got it, because she didn't say agile, she said agile, and that makes sense because there's an I in there. I feel like once again, if you're feeling a little bit lazy, you can definitely say, oh yeah, that thing over there, that's pretty agile, but it really just still sounds wrong. And so I think it is just the fact that, like Lauren from the UK said, it's just too many repetitions of the same sound and it's getting all mixed up. So it definitely is agile and fragile, and all the I's are in there and included. Oh, this has to be in here purely for Canada just to shine. I mean, maybe the UK will shine too, but I feel as though that sorry is just gonna come straight out.
In the UK, we would say, I'm sorry about that. Maybe slightly more sincerely than I just did.
Add some tears.
I'm sorry about that.
In the US, we would say, I'm sorry about that.
Stop smiling! It's a sad thing. You're like, I'm sorry.
Canada will say, I'm sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Sorry
Like,
about
of course,
that.
there might be some Canadians who will be like, I'm sorry about that. They'll have the ooh, a boot. Really
Yeah.
not many Canadians will say a boot. It's a very old stereotype.
Is it like a countryside thing?
Yeah, it could be like some people in like really, really rural areas of Canada.
Hang on a second, I need to go back and hear that rural.
People in like really, really rural.
I don't know if it's the really, really beforehand, but the really, really rural. Man, that's difficult to say in the first place, but the rural was basically just skipped. It was like rural. I mean, the word rural doesn't really sound as though it's ever correctly pronounced. It's just too many kind of sloshed R's in there. But to her credit, she didn't actually do what I thought might happen in terms of the sorry came out. No, it was just kind of a general sorry. And I've listened to them a few times, and really, I feel as though between the USA and Canada, they are virtually identical. And then listening to the full sentence again, I feel as though it's actually the surrounding words that make more of a difference than what I expected the sorry to make. I think it's more of the about that I'm hearing in terms of, especially maybe Canada, definitely the USA as well. So I feel as though where you really start to see the difference between all the accents is just where you join the words between the end of the sorry and the start of the about. It's like, oh, okay, so we're getting the sorry and then the about, or the about, or however you want to do it. You really just have to look at the bigger picture and not just kind of focus in on one word, because you just hear it too many times, you go, oh yeah, it all sounds the same. I mean, once again, I've probably been a little bit corrupted by what they've said or how they've said it, but in Australia we would say, oh, I'm sorry about that.
How do you guys
Yeah.
say sorry?
Sorry.
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 You're like always like
I'm
a
a
mix.
mix.
Yeah.
I felt like ours sounded the same.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yes, it's so close. And then you got sorry. I mean, yeah, like I said, Canada's going to stand in terms of it's more like an SAWRRY, sorry, but I don't know, it's just nitpicky.
Oh, maybe fragile. Fragile.
Yeah, fragile or pasta?
For me, I thought it was interesting
Too
hearing
many.
you say the question, because I didn't realize you don't go up. I thought that was just a very, like, I never thought that, like, other countries might not, because I feel like when we're teaching English, that's how we teach it. We're like, go up, you go up.
Yeah. We always learn to go up for a question, but like in that sense, like, can I borrow a pencil? We wouldn't, but maybe like, oh, where? Then maybe we would sound more like a question, but most of the time if it's kind of like asking to borrow something or do you want to go get a coffee?
Yeah, it's like up then down. Because it sounds so natural when you say say it.
English is so complicated, and I don't even know if coffee is a very good example because coffee is going coffee, like it's a double E sound. So you're just of course going to have an up, but then it's also mixed in with a downwards implied question like the UK and Australia does. I don't even know. I mean, as Callie from the USA said, that's what you're taught, that's what you're meant to do in terms of, okay, if you want to make in a question mark, you have to put that inflection. But like I said, I feel as though we can just imply the question. It sounds completely dumb, but you can imply the question by going down. It kind of gets mixed in with the emotion of the question. Like I said, can I have a pencil or can I have a pencil? Mine broke. And so it would be interesting for me to see, how does the USA and Canada do it if they're not able to go down ever? Or hey, maybe they do and they don't even notice it. Either way, it's just such a nuanced thing, but it makes a lot of difference. And English, like I said, is too convoluted in that regard.
I didn't realize like that Canadian English was so similar to ours. Like the fact that you say like fragile rather than fragile.
That's true. I guess I expected our, ours to be a little bit more similar,
but then
that's
again,
not
it
the
could
case
just be
always.
like my influence as well, like from my family background. So and how I grew up, I have more influence from the British sector.
I'm sure it's like that with all of us
Yeah.
too, right? Like everyone's family
Yeah,
says different
it's very
things,
different,
or
so,
makes sense.
Well, at least they said the same thing that I said, that these are three individuals from three separate countries representing what probably, I was about to say 100 million, but no, the USA is over 100 million in its own. So I guess what, like 400 million people. So there's no way you're ever going to get, oh yeah, this is what the USA sounds like, this is what Canada sounds like, this is what the UK sounds like. It doesn't work that way, but at least it's a good starting point to go, oh wow, I never even knew you could pronounce the word like that, or I wouldn't even know what that word is if you said it like that. Just all these different ways to go, oh wow, you just get all these different influence, and hey, it might eventually melt your mind if you listen to it too much, or maybe you just don't even hear it after a while. But it is certainly interesting just to break it all down and go, oh wow, just those little nuances just to find an entire country. In saying that though, I was just thinking about it going, I don't think Australia has a regional dialect. I think no matter where you go, everyone's just going to sound the same, mostly speaking. I mean, there's physical vocal cord difference, but I think no one has really adopted a different accent, unlike these three countries have. And so I don't know if we're just not old enough or what it is, but I do find it interesting that Australia just has none of it. Take the UK for example, you have England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales, and that's just an immense amount of different pronunciation. And Australia goes, nah, we're just way bigger in landmass, but no, we're fine, we'll just all be the same. And so as good as this video was, I think next time I just have to try and find one that just includes an Australian accent, just to try and go, okay, maybe then I can hear it and just compare the pair as well. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithm things down below. Also, if this is the first video of mine that you are watching, then make sure to go check out any other ones I've done. Also, make sure to go check out the original video down in the description below, or hey, maybe even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.